Alright, so we can actually change this. Final exam is going to be next week, Thursday. Just next week, Thursday. So a week and 2 days till you've got your final in here. You have other classes that you'll have finals for on Wednesday and Friday, but for sure you'll have your final will be in here. And so depending upon your grading teacher, so whatever your Monday class is, that's going to depend on when you have it. So it's all four. We have 4 different offerings for the finals, all in here in this room. So it's all on day 2. And so if you have me in the morning on Monday, you're day 2, period 5. If you have me at this time on Monday, you're at day 2, period 6. You'll get tomorrow morning at homeroom, you'll get a half sheet with all the different times and periods and such on a piece of paper for you for tomorrow. So just so you know, but they are in this room. Okay? With that being said, then this week, so today we're going to talk about inequalities. Tomorrow we'll talk about solving inequalities. And then we're going to start reviewing for this final. And we've got 3 days of review for this final. And then we're going to, actually we got 4 days of review, but that's all right. Okay, we'll review for a while and we'll get through it. Today's notes packet, which you just picked up a new one, we're going to be jumping around on that page. We're going to start at the top of the page, but then we're going to go all the way to the end of it, and then we're going to work our way back a little bit, and then we're going to jump back to the front side. And this morning, I just didn't like how the class went, so I'm like, this should go here, and this should go here, and so, but they were already printed, so. Come on. There we go. All right. Okay. So, today, we're going to talk about an inequality. An inequality is a mathematical sentence built from expressions using these 5 different symbols. So we've got less than. That one. We've got greater than. We've got less than or equal to. We've got greater than or equal to. And we've got not equal. So those are the 5 symbols that make up an inequality. Okay? So you'll probably use 1. If you get into what are called compound inequalities, then you would use 2. Okay? But we'll stick with 1 for today and tomorrow. We'll get more into those second semester. Okay? But those are that. That wasn't anything after that. plus years ago, when I learned all about inequalities, my elementary school teacher said the alligator likes to eat the bigger number. Okay? That's how they taught us inequalities back, almost half a century ago. Okay? So the alligator likes to eat the bigger number. So you have to determine which number is bigger. Okay? Okay? And then the opening of these four right here, we're looking at the first four, the opening goes towards the bigger number. Okay? So, on a regular number line, bigger numbers are on the right. Smaller numbers are on the left. On these that are on your desks, the bigger numbers are on top, the smaller numbers are towards the bottom. Okay? So you've got to determine, this by the way now, these are on the back side, we're on the bottom of the back page that we're at. Okay? So if I'm looking at 5 and 19, which number, 5 and negative 19, which number is bigger? The 5 is bigger. Okay? So the 5 would have the opening going towards it. So we could have that one, or we could have that one. Or we could have not equal to, but that's the easy one. That's the cop-out one. Okay? We won't deal with that one. Okay? So we can have one of those two. Okay? What I want you to do now is I want you to fill in, and you only got to put one of the two. Okay? Either less than or greater or equal to, greater than or equal to on the other three. Okay? So you finish off 16, 17, and 18 right now. Go. We'll go around the room. Good. Number 16. Opening to the left, or I put it the wrong way. Opening to the left or opening to the right? The left, because 12 is bigger than 7. You would be correct if it was positive 12 and positive 7. But it's negative 12 and negative 7. So, over here. Negative 12 and negative 7. Bigger numbers are up or down. Give it a chance. Up. Which way should you open it? Good. Okay. Oops. There, what? So those. Okay. 5 or 6, which one's bigger? 6. So the opening goes to the right. Yep. So it would be either this one or this one. Again, you only got to put one of them. You're going to put them both. Okay. 0 or 4, Yasser. 0 or 4. Opening to the right or opening to the left? Left, because 0 is bigger than negative 4, right? Yep. All right? Cool. Now, what we want to do is, so now we're going to have something that looks, we're going to have something that looks like this right here. This is an inequality statement. So right now we're on the middle part of the backside. Okay? So that's an inequality statement. And what we're going to do is we're going to graph these. Okay? So the first thing that we have to determine is what kind of dot we're going to put on our number line. We like horizontal number lines for this. Okay? So we have to determine what kind of dot goes on our number line? Well, the dots are determined by what inequality we're using. So an open dot is a less than or a greater than. Okay? And a closed dot or a filled in dot is a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. One of those two is the filled in dot. So the first thing that you're going to determine when you're graphing these is what kind of a dot we're using. Okay? So in number 11, which kind of a dot are we going to use? Riley, we're actually to you. Open dot or closed dot? For number 11. Open, because it's just less than, right? Yep. Okay, so we're going to use an open dot. So we're going to put an open dot, there we go. We're going to put an open dot around the 5 on the number line. Okay? Close. Alligator likes to eat the bigger number, right? Okay? So what's bigger? The 5 or all the other numbers? From this statement right here. If the alligator likes to eat the bigger number, which one's bigger? The 5 or all the other ones? All the other ones would be represented by M. The 5 is bigger, right? Okay? So we want 5 to be our biggest number. Okay? So we're going to put an arrow on here because we got a lot of numbers that are not as big as 5, right? Which way is our arrow going to go? We're going to go that way, right? Because we want 5 to be the biggest number, so we want to go that way with our arrow. So all of these numbers in here, all of those numbers make that box be a true statement. Okay? Okay? So all of those purple numbers make that be true. So if we put in 0, if I put in 0 for M, 0 is less than 5. True statement. Okay? If I put something over here that's not underneath the arrow, like 10, 10 is not less than 5, that's not true. We like truthiness. We don't like falsitudes. Okay? Right? In number 12, Brock, we're up to you. Open or closed dot? The closed dot right on -2, right? Yep, exactly. So we go find -2, and we make ourselves a closed dot. Okay? But alligator likes to eat the bigger number, right? So R is representing all of the other numbers, right? Do we want all of the other numbers or -2 to be the biggest?
We want all
We want all the other ones because the alligator is opening towards the R, right? So that means that our arrow then is going to go that way. Because we want all of the other numbers to be bigger than 2. Huh? What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to do numbers 13 and 14. Actually, tap the break. We'll do 13 together because I forgot 13 was the goofy one, the not equal to. So when it's not equal to, right, then that's an automatic open circle because it's not equal to. And this is the only one with 2 arrows. You got to have an arrow going both directions. Okay? Arrow going in both directions. Okay? You now do number 14. Number 14. Give me the graph for 14. -1 the biggest number? Yeah, exactly. Now, some people, if you want, you could, like, you don't have to go above the line. Some people do that. Lots of times people do the way the other three are because they're writing in one color. They're either writing in just pencil or just pen, and they're not getting a multicolored palette of colors. Okay? Questions on that one? Fantastic. All right. So then we can go the other way. Now that we have the graph, now we're back to the front side of our note sheet. Okay? Now that we have the graph, now we can go back the other way and we can say, okay, what are 3 numbers that make this be a true statement, or the statement that we're going to write be a true statement? What are 3 numbers that make it? We'll get to that in a minute. Okay? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to identify a letter. We need to pick a letter. We have 26 choices. Actually, really, we only have 24 choices because I don't like O as a variable because it looks too much like a 0, and I don't like L as a variable because it looks too much like a 1. Okay? So really, you only got 24 choices. Okay? Ms. Ledwig, you get to be the picker of the one of the 24. A, perfect. Okay, so you got to pick a letter first. You got to pick a letter A, and you're going to put it there. Okay? Then you're going to leave yourself a space, and you're going to put this number wherever that dot is. In this particular case, that number is at 1. Okay? Now, because it's a closed dot, your choices are less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Okay? So those are your 2 choices to fill in that gap that you left in your line. Okay? We want numbers here that are bigger, right? So that would be greater than or equal to 1. We would choose this one right there. Then we can pick some numbers and make sure that we have a true statement. So like if I chose 5, right? 5 is bigger than 1, correct? Yeah, 5 is bigger than 1. We could choose 10. 10 is bigger than 1. Yeah. Could I choose 1,000? Would that still work? Still bigger than 1, right? Where is it on my graph? On my number line, I should say, not my graph. Way, 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 way over here, right? Okay? Probably even farther than where I am. Way over there. Okay? Even though it's not on our number line, because we have this arrowhead right there, that's saying that that's going on forever and ever and ever. So any number bigger than 1 makes that be true. Okay? Number 2. Pick a letter. We're at picking a letter. Okay? We're at picking a letter. Q. Love it. Okay? We're at Q. Still got the number 1. Okay? Will. Filled in or open dot? Filled in, right? Yes, it's filled in. Right? Filled in dot. Yep. Okay. So that means we've got these 2 choices. Yeah, the dot's right there on it. Okay? All right? So which one do we want to go with? The left one underneath or the right one underneath? The left one, yeah, because it's going the opposite direction. And again, any of these numbers, 0, -5, -10, etc., all those would make that be a true statement. Okay? Only thing that changes now is, we'll skip down to number 4. Okay? Only thing that changes here now, we've got to pick a letter. Pick a letter. Any letter. C. Okay? Still at 1. But now the only thing that changes is because we have an open dot, now it's just less than or greater than. It doesn't have that equal part. The filled in dot has the equal part attached to it. Okay? Alright? So we want numbers less than 1. So we're going to go with less than. Okay? Flip the page back over, one more flip. What I want you to do now is, we're going to do number 7 together, and then I want you to do 8, 9, and 10. We're going to come up with inequalities. Okay? Tell you, we're up to. Pick a letter. N. Okay? So we're going with N. And our number is 8. Okay? Elliot. With the equals or without the equals? Meaning greater than less than, or greater than or equal to less than. With an open dot. The first one just without the equals parts? Yep. Okay. And which one do you want to go with? Less than or greater than? Looking at number 7. We want all of the numbers left less than. Yep. So because less than is left. We're going to go with that. Okay? You come up with 8, 9, and 10. Go for it. Letter. Which letter did you go with for number 8? 24 choices. You go with S? X. X. E. Let's go E. 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 Alright? And then we got 3 as our number. Okay? Do we want bigger numbers than 3? Or do we want smaller numbers than 3? Bigger, right? Okay? So that means we want E to be bigger than or equal to, because it's a filled in dot, than 3. Okay. Letter for 9, anyone?
X.
X. Okay. All right. X. And our number is -7. Do we want bigger numbers than -7 or smaller numbers than -7? Bigger. So that means it's going to be, or is it just going to be equals or not? Not equal. So it's just the greater than. Okay. And last one, let's see. I haven't heard J yet.
Oh, I was trying to write that.
Ah. And an 8. And smaller this time, right? So we want 8 to be the biggest. So we want the alligator to eat the 8 because 8 is bigger than all the rest of the numbers and so on and so forth. Okay? I heard that everybody said that their New Year's resolution was they were going to do all of their homework and turn it in the next day. So the blue worksheets, this unit, so I just handed you out a blue F1 worksheet, okay, due tomorrow. Okay?